Tá, bora continuar jogando aqui o Crimes do ABC. Aqui exatamente a gente parou no segundo caso. Vou conversar com o inspetor aqui, vamos ver o que rolou.
How do you do, gentlemen?
Chief Inspector?
I fear your admirer has struck again, Poirot. We haven't yet identified the victim, but it's a young woman, 20 to 25 years old. Death occurred last night between 11:30 and 1 o'clock, and we found an ABC guide on the body.
Was she pretty?
Come on, Poirot, that's rather out of place. It has no bearing on the murder.
Are you certain? For women, it is often the most important thing. It often decides their destiny.
The body hasn't been moved. You can see for yourself.
Has the press been informed?
Not yet, but I'm planning to. I haven't yet informed them about the presence of the ABC guide in Andover.
Nobody has reported a young woman missing?
Not for the moment.
No witnesses, I imagine.
Indeed. We've asked everybody who may have met a young woman fitting her description last night to come and see us, but I have little hope of gaining anything from it.
It's early days, Chief Inspector, and the news may not have spread around the town yet.
I hope you're right, Hastings.
There is...
O que ele olhou ali?
There is no doubt about it. Bexhill has one of the most beautiful beaches in the area.
Olha, investigar.
A braided silk belt. It may have belonged to the victim. These marks have been left by a rope or a braided cloth. This key is too small to be one for a house. Without a doubt, it is for a padlock. The guide is open at the page for the Bexhill train times. Apart from the marks on her neck, there are no signs of the struggle. She didn't manage to hit her assailant. She was a great beauty. Strange that chap didn't notice it. The young woman wasn't wearing shoes or a coat, and was not carrying a bag. That's strange. Either the murderer stole her belongings, or she put them somewhere safe. Maybe so that she could bath. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Uma vítima foi assassinada. Marcas de pescoço, cinto. E ela não resistiu. Foi surpreendido e estrangulado com o próprio cinto. É isso.
The poor child must have been strangled with his braided belt. Unfortunately, in view of the fabric, it is unlikely that we will find any prints. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Quais ligações do centro de Andover de Bexhill? Guia da ABC. Carta anunciando crime. Ah não, peraí, isso aqui. Carta. Ah, quais as ligações dos guias do ABC? Deixa eu mostrar do ABC. Os criminosos são novos do assassino. Mandou carta. A imprensa não sabe o que é ABC. Os dados são identidades realizadas pela mesma pessoa.
The medical officer should confirm that the victim was strangled with her own belt.
That's what I thought. She shows the usual signs of strangulation.
With a little luck, we'll find prints this time.
You are too optimistic, Hastings. Our killer is far too meticulous for that. There is no doubt about it.
Identifique a vítima. Tá, a chave que a gente achou. Era a chave no braço. Abriu a porta. Ligo na pança, vocês querem. Traço na pança, 6 que avança. Traço no pé, 9 que é. Então tem 2, 9. Não, esse 6 aqui tá virado. Tá virado aqui.
The number is upside down. This is definitely at number 6.
Sendo calhado, 7, 1, 5.
A dual locking padlock. I need to find the code and then insert a key.
7. Aí. Gudum.
It definitely was here that the victim left her belongings. The purse is full. Yet again, we can dismiss theft as the motive for the murder. Here is the watch she must have removed to prevent it from getting wet. A top brand lipstick. She liked to take care of her appearance. As well as a photo of the victim with some company. It could be useful to me. Betty's first day at work. Mom is very proud of you. Elizabeth Barnard, 7 August 1931. So, the young lady did have a name starting with B, and she worked as a ginger cat, an establishment that must be slightly further along the beach.
Jap has gone to the police. The victim has been identified and her family had reported her disappearance. She was called?
Elizabeth Barnard, mainly Betty. She worked as a ginger cat at the cafe slightly further along the beach.
But Poirot, how on earth?
Never mind. Do you have her address?
Yes, she lived with her parents on the street leading to the beach, number 22. Shall we go?
You are far too impatient, Hastings. Let the poor people take in the news first. Let us go and visit the cafe where Betty worked.
Ver a foto. Nada escrito.
Could it be the same buildings as on the victim's photo?
Diante na fachada. Ali é bem grande, Ginger Cat.
This is definitely where the photo I found in the hut was taken.
Vambora. Não.
This is definitely where the photo I found in the hut was taken. This is definitely where the photo I found in the hut was taken.
Perry, eu tô tentando caminhar, cara. Para de olhar pra isso aí.
With all these tourists, these shops must be thriving.
Some ginger cats.
I'll be with you in a minute, gentlemen.
This is a well-laid table. Nothing is out of place and, above all, no creases.
Olha a mulher.
Something tells me that she's the owner of the ginger cat. This woman must be the owner of the ginger cat. It looks like something is bothering her.
Gato ruivo é uma ruiva.
How can I help you?
A hot chocolate and a tea for my friend, please.
I'll bring it straight away.
Tricar.
I need to know the time range during which Betty was working on her own.
Match.
Where is Betty?
Legal.
Betty worked from 11 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Would she have been alone at any time during her service?
É, que deve ser o de
This
hoje.
page won't help me.
Deixa eu saborar o cartão.
These are the different waiting staff's bills. Which ones were written by Betty?
Ah, não tem os nomes, mas tem os horários. Aqui ela escreveu. Mas ela tava aí.
This bill may have been written by Betty. There is probably another one.
Também.
Betty wasn't serving on her own at these two times. Let's keep...
Tá, aqui foi ela.
This bill may have been written by Betty. There is probably another one.
25. Aqui também.
Betty wasn't serving on her own.
Ah, isso aqui é duas. Tá. Entendi.
This bill may have been written by Betty. There is probably another one.
Entende. Aquilo ali é tarde pra caramba.
Betty wasn't serving on her own.
Não? Sim, certeza. Ah, aqui, ó.
Most probably a single man, a whiskey lover. Maybe the murderer? This bill may have been written by...
Provavelmente outra. Essa aqui.
No, something's not right. Betty was alone at just one of these two times.
Então, essa aqui.
Most probably a single man, a whiskey... This bill may have...
Acho que essa aqui, 5 horas.
No, something's not right.
Não?
Maybe I should consult...
Essa do whisky quentuche.
Most probably a single man. This bill may have been written...
É outra que ela possa ter escrevido. Cara, eu acho que essa aqui. Não. Meio-dia. A 4:30 foi ela.
Most probably a family.
Mas foi ela que
Betty
escreveu.
served a family and a man on his own, a whiskey drinker. Maybe the murderer. This information will help me to progress.
But, gentlemen, what are you doing?
We are searching for clues, mademoiselle. My name is Hercule
Mademoiselle.
Poirot. I am a detective, and this is Captain Hastings. Does Betty Barnard work here?
That is correct. She should have been here a while ago. Punctuality is the first rule of politeness.
I fear that Miss Barnard will not be coming today. She has just been found, dead, on the beach a few hundred meters from the cafe.
How awful. Poor young thing. What happened?
She appears to have been murdered.
This is most distressing. How this will affect my business, I shudder to think.
Bom. Falar isso, na verdade, não é um aviso para perguntar o que ela sabe sobre isso. Falar isso, na verdade, não é um aviso para a cidade perguntar o que ela sabe sobre a
What can you tell us about Miss Barnard?
Nothing, absolutely nothing. Miss Barnard was my employee. Her private life was none of my business.
You did know at least that she had a young man.
Indeed.
This photo was found. Is this him?
Yes, that's him all right. But I haven't seen him for some time.
Dizer que os jovens não têm mais moral. Perguntar se ela também estava bem.
Do you think there may have been some problems between them?
I'm not on those sort of terms with my staff. Now, please excuse me, I have work to do.
The customer who ordered the whiskey might provide us more information. He may have been the last one to see Betty alive.
Simpatia dela se fosse criticado o jogo.
It is an interesting idea, Stings. Maybe he is a regular guest. What do you think, mademoiselle?
I don't think so. Our regular guests tend to order tea and cakes. At this time of the year, there are a lot of tourists about you never see again.
That's what I thought. Time to visit Betty's home.
A casa de Betty no 22. A casa da Betty. Pam, 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 pam.
This is definitely where the photo I found in the hut was taken.
A casa dela tá aqui.
How do you do, mademoiselle? My name is Hercule Poirot.
I know you. You're that detective we hear all about.
I do not know if that is a compliment, but I will take it as one for now. You are Betty's sister, I believe?
Yes. My name is Megan.
Can we come in?
Please do. My parents are at the police station. I doubt they'll be up to speaking to you later.
Do not worry, we will not bother them.
Did you know your sister's plans for yesterday evening?
No. I arrived by train this morning. My parents called me in a panic when they discovered that Betty had disappeared. She went out last night, but she didn't tell them where she was going.
What was your last conversation about?
Her new dress. She wanted a pair of black stockings to go with it. Mother brought her a pair. The very day it happened. She was crying. And to think that Betty never even wore them. Poor Mummy.
Vamos dar uma xeretada. Aqui é pra sair. Não.
Family photos and files. This gramophone is magnificent. It is a one-off, without a doubt. It would not be polite to...
Ah, não. Quero subir, não. Quero olhar aqui por enquanto.
The Barnard appeared to make music a priority in their budget.
Piano. Pegasus.
Their home is modest, but the Barnards are definitely music lovers.
Tem mais coisa? Não, não. Vamos observar ela.
What is she feeling at the moment?
Foi fechado. Olha fixo.
Betty's older sister is not just sad, she is angry. Did Betty go out often?
My sister wasn't a child, sir. She used to go out. She enjoyed films, dancing. She was a very good girl who didn't hang around with men. That's what they always say, no?
Ceticismo.
I am not interested in what people say. I am interested in the truth, Mademoiselle Barnard. If you only knew how much I would like to talk with someone who does not know that your sister is dead and who could provide me with a true portrait of her beyond the formalities.
The truth is that my sister was a silly little fool. I tried to reason with her, but she behaved like an idiot.
In what way?
She used to say that if she was going to marry Don, she might as well have some fun now.
I understand. Please continue.
Oh, excuse me, I have to answer that.
But of course.
Betty's room is opposite the stairs on the first floor. Feel free to take a look if you think it might be useful.
This young woman is far too clever not to have anything else for us.
Do you think she's hiding something?
That is what I'm trying to find out.
Surely you don't think she did it?
I did not say anything of the sort. But young women always ruin your judgment, Hastings. Who knows, maybe Megan was jealous of her attractive young sister.
I see. She may have had her sights on the inheritance. Or maybe she was in love with Donald Fraser.
We have to study all scenarios, even the most unlikely. But I doubt that Mr. and Mrs. Barnard are rich enough to justify murder. While I try and get Miss Barnard to talk, I would like you to try and find Donald Fraser. He should be easy to find the estate agents where he works. Bring him to the Ginger Cat. I would like to talk with him before the chief inspector finds him.
Vamos ver o quarto da Beth. O Poirot adora um espelho.
It looks like Betty was also a music lover, the same as her family.
Metrônomo.
Without a doubt, Betty used to sing. A box of new stockings. Looking at all the clothes she took out, Betty must have had a problem deciding what to wear. Maybe she had a date? It looks like Betty has a very busy life.
Restaurante chique, convite para uma dama. Essa para o filme Amor.
Betty liked luxury and going out, and being as pretty as she was, she probably did not have any problem getting herself invited. This small key should be useful to... I've finished with this subject. Medicine to prevent voice loss. Did Betty have problems with her voice? A record sleeve with an handwritten title. Betty must have recorded the demo.
Legal, trilha.
I'd be interested to hear it. Something on this clock bothers me.
Esse relógio aqui é um saco.
There, that's better.
Meio-dia. Esse bagulho aqui que dá pra flochar. Beleza. Esses calços aqui é que tem que aflochar.
Could the screw be slightly could the... Good. It should be possible to open the wooden panel. Look, a key. This could be useful.
A gente tem que abrir aqui, ó, pra pegar essa folha.
This metal disc is... What a strange mechanism. I don't think it serves to turn the hands.
Se não me engano, esse aqui é no meio. Eu acho que esse aqui é pra cá. Acho que é isso. Tá. Esses dois pro outro lado. Agora eu não lembro. Ah, pra cá, os dois no meio. Ufa. Tá, agora a gente consegue usar essa chavinha aqui, ó. A gente tem que destrancar tudo isso aqui, ó. Que é pra isso aqui conseguir girar.
Ah, something clicked on the front of the clock.
A chavinha de novo.
This could be useful.
Ah, esse relógio aqui eu fiquei acho que 2 horas em cima dele.
Betty, I enjoyed a wonderful evening in your company, and I hope that we will see each other again very soon. D.
D.
My dearest Betty, I know that your art is already spoken for, but you are the most beautiful dancer I have ever had the pleasure of meeting, and I am impatient to see you again. Adrian.
Ah, tem 3 convites e 2 cartas. Tá faltando coisa. Escute o disco da Beth. Peguei o disco da Beth. Cadê o disco da Beth?
A record sleeve with a handwritten...
Não, cara, pra cá. Ah, vou escutar o disco da Beth também. É um desafio. Eu só ouvir uma música. Acho que essa chave daqui, ó.
Let us see. This looks like solfège.
Nem sei o que é isso, mas acho que é um estilo de música. Disco da Beth. Morar é sempre olhar todos os cantos do mundo. Aqui a gente tem que olhar. O sulfé, se
There
eu
is
não me engano,
bound to be a clue somewhere.
é 1, 2 e 3, vira aquela nota ali que eu não sei o que que é. Então a gente vai.
I heard the sound of a mechanism being triggered.
Ah, é 2, 2, 1. Ah, aqui a gente bota o que tá no disco aqui, ó. 78T. E aqui, ó. 7, 8T.
I just have to put the record on the gramophone and start it.
A gente tem que clicar aqui, eu acho.
That doesn't work.
Faltando metade. Ah, aqui levanta o bagulho.
That doesn't work.
Tá, peraí. Levanta ali. Bota o disco. Vem aqui de novo. Baixa a tampa do bagulho. Não quer apertar. Ah, sim. Vou botar aqui,
It
ó.
looks like something goes.
Tem que achar a manivela. Esse aqui é do tempo de manivela. Antigamente era assim, meu, que os caras viam muito. Dava corda e...
Oh, Donald! We're in the middle of
Ah,
recording.
da onde que eu di?
Sorry, Betty, but it's not wise. The doctor said you should rest your voice.
You're such a killjoy sometimes.
Betty was such a good singer.
It's true. Did she have any problem with her throat?
Yes, she had to be careful with her voice. Of course, she didn't follow the doctor's advice. If Don didn't insist, she... Well, it's too late for all that now.
Beleza? Onde é que vamos agora? Continua a interrogar mega.
It looks like this woman is single, but she has feelings for someone. She is looking so intensely at this photo. But is it really a sister that she's studying in this manner?
Sabe?
They made the perfect couple, am I correct?
Yes, in a way. She was pretty and he...
Well,
He's a bright man, with a promising career ahead of him. He would have made Betty a good husband. He was always attentive and generous. Oh, a true gentleman.
I hear a note of envy in your voice.
You must have heard wrong.
You have not mentioned Donald's jealousy.
There's nothing to say.
I am not your enemy, Mademoiselle Bernard.
And you are not my friend either, Mr. Poirot, sir.
Eita.
Yes, but your lies are not helping Mr. Fraser, or you for that matter.
A mala que é um caso complexo. Perguntar o que ela está protegendo o nome de Betty.
I know that Fraser was jealous, but I wonder why you feel the need to protect him.
Protect him? I hope you're not suggesting...
That you are Fraser's accomplice? There is nothing to suggest that, at least not yet. It would appear that your sister's murder is the second in a series that we have to stop as quickly as possible. The first was in Andover, and the same as your sister, the murderer sent me a letter informing me that a crime would be committed in that town. Now can I count on your honesty?
Yes, you have my confidence, Mr. Poirot. Don is a quiet and sensitive young man. Slightly reserved, too. And as is often the case with reserved people, when he flew into a temper, he completely lost control. He could be so violent. Betty was frightened.
And when was this?
The first time was about a year ago. But they rowed more recently. Donald found out that Betty had lied to him. She said she was going out with a girlfriend, but she went out for dinner with a married man. It was an awful scene. She told him that until they were married, she was free to go with whoever she pleased. Donald turned quite pale and started shaking and kept saying one day...
Well?
he'd commit murder.
Só tempo.
So you were afraid that he would become our main suspect. I know that Fraser was jealous, but I wonder why you feel the need to protect him.
Exactly. Had you not told me about the case, I would never have dared to tell you about this little matter. Don loved Betty with all his heart. I can't imagine for one instant that he would hurt her.
Very good, Mademoiselle Barnard. Thank you for your help.
Fraser is at the Ginger Cat. The police haven't spoken to him, but they want to.
Très bien, Hastings. Let's see him now. Au revoir, mademoiselle. My deepest condolences to your parents.
Of course, Mr. Poirot. And don't be too hard on Don. He's more fragile than he looks.
If you say so.
Pede pra gente fazer à noite. Pede saia muito. Saia com outro homem, lendo dano. Cinema. Praia. Pede provavelmente pra encontrar alguém à noite. Tá. Pede saia muito, ok. Saia com outro homem lendo dano, não é. Não sei se tá nessa época do ano. Nada a ver. Pede pra gente fazer à noite. Pede pra gente pra Dante só pra gente no dia anterior. Ah, aí eu ensinei. Sair à noite. Não sei qual é a outra pista. Acha. Pede sair à noite. Pede mentir ou Dante porque tinha um encontro contra ele. Pede conhecer o agressor. Creio que não, mano. Ah, só se ela for no restaurante. Pescoço.
Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
De novo? Que comportamento Mega Bernard está escondendo? Negócio do Donald, cara. Mega não para de olhar pra frente de Beth. Mega. Quanto? A vítima era bonita. Beth sai quantos anos? Queda pro Donald. Mega Bernard motivo matar a irmã. Mega Beth. Donald Flavor. Matar a irmã pro filme, ela disse que chegou hoje de trem. Se tiver um álibi que ela tava ontem de noite.
You've seen Fraser, Hastings. What is your feeling?
He's a big chap. Fragile isn't exactly the word that springs to mind. I talked to his landlady before seeing him. She went to bed at 11. Fraser wasn't home yet.
Bien. Megan Barnard said he is a reserved character but with a nasty temper. We will see if this is the case. This is definitely where the photo I found in the hut was taken.
Cadê isso, mano? Chega.
I don't want this young man here.
Esse cara.
How do you do, Mr. Fraser?
You're Hercule Poirot. Mr. Hastings said you wanted to speak to me.
Yes. I know that it may not be the right time, but I would like to ask you a few questions. This man looks suspicious.
Yeah. Não muito, não.
Donald Fraser is in a terrible state, as if he hadn't slept all night. And he's drinking White Horse.
Leave me alone. Tell me that it's a mistake. That Betty isn't dead.
Sadly, your lady friend has been murdered, Mr. Fraser.
Oh, Betty, if only you'd listened.
Perguntar se ele viu Betty na tarde passada. Dizer que a Betty só fazia que é de sagrado. Perguntar se ele vai escutar. Perguntar se ele viu Betty na tarde.
Did you visit Betty yesterday afternoon?
No, I haven't seen Betty for 2 days. I was at the office yesterday afternoon.
Can you prove that?
Of course. But why this question? Betty died yesterday evening, didn't she?
Agora de horse.
Yesterday, a guest came to the Ginger Cat alone and ordered a White Horse whiskey, and by the look of it, you also appear to be fond of this brand.
Yes, it's a good whiskey and not cheap. I only drink it on special occasions. Or tragic ones.
I understand. Do you know what Betty's plans were yesterday evening?
She said she was having dinner with her sister.
Lá mentiu. Cara.
Yet, Megan only returned to Bexhill this morning, Mr. Fraser.
I didn't know.
Right. May I ask you what you were doing yesterday evening?
I spent the evening working.
Your colleagues can confirm this?
No, I often take work home with me.
Chama de mentiroso, vai dizer que ele não.
Therefore, you have no alibi, Mr. Fraser.
That's right. But that doesn't make me a murderer, Mr. Poirot. I would like you to leave now, please.
Ah, I knew I'd find you here, Poirot. I thought the victim's young man was here.
Yes, is all yours, Chief Inspector. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Deixa eu matar a Betty. Sim, ciumento. Ele é um violento. Apaixonado pela Betty. Betty saia muito. Hoje tem um álibi. Hoje não tem um álibi. Gostei da praia e matado Betty. Não tem motivo para todos os assassinatos. Não. São premeditados como de todas as pessoas. Matar a senhora acha. Aqui agora nos nossos objetivos. Volte a cena do crime. Então, bora pra cena do crime.
Fraser doesn't have an alibi and he's extremely jealous.
You are very skilled at summing up.
And yet you haven't asked Jap to arrest him.
It is too soon. But I agree, without the letters announcing the crimes, Fraser would already be behind bars. Bon, I think we have enough elements. Let's reconstruct the events at the scene of the crime.
I can't imagine how the murderer wasn't seen, though. Surely she must have struggled.
Let us try and imagine the scene.
Então, fazer a reconstrução. Reconstrução.
The killer and the victim are walking on the beach. Miss Betty has a bag, a belt around her waist, and carries her shoes in her hand. Both of them walk slowly to hut number 5. Both of them walk slowly to hut number 6. Miss Betty enters the hut. She leaves without her belongings. Then she hides a code.
The killer tries to remove his victim's belt. She panics and tries to stop him.
Ah.
She runs
Agora.
away, pursued by her assailant.
No, there is no sign of a chase. Things must have happened differently. Let us think again, mon cher.
Construção. Falha.
The killer and the victim are walking on the beach. Miss Betty has a
Desde o
bag,
início.
a belt around her waist, and carries her shoes in her hand. Both of them walk slowly to hut number 5.
Avança.
Both of them walk slowly to hut number 6.
Aqui é com a Beth.
Miss Betty enters the hut. She leaves without her belongings. Then she hides a code.
Avançar.
They keep walking. Then she removes her belt.
É assim.
The murderer moves behind her and then attacks her by surprise. The body falls, lifeless, on the sand.
Everything appears to match the crime scene, mon cher Hastings. That is exactly what happened. Without the ABC, we might have suspected Mr. Asher and Mr. Fraser. But by timing his crimes, the murderer is making sure he's accused. In a way, it is very generous of him.
Generous? The murderer seduced Betty in order to lure her to the beach and kill her.
Indeed, the young woman was certainly careless, but not stupid enough to follow a stranger.
What are you planning to do, Poirot?
Return to London, mon cher Hastings.
Caso estudado. Falando. Bueira balões.
Right, back to London. There is nothing more for us to do here.
Mais nada pra ver aqui. Vambora.
Jap has decided to reveal details to the press. The alphabet murder is now famous.
It is not a bad idea. The more people who know, the greater our chances of finding out something of interest.
Poirot, I have a bad feeling.
Deveria ter menos. Mais uma carta.
Poor Mr. Poirot, not so good at these little criminal matters as you thought yourself, are you? Rather past your prime, perhaps. Let us see if you can do any better this time. This time, it's an easy one. Churston on the 30th. Do try and do something about it. It's a bit dull having it all my own way, you know. Good hunting. Ever yours, ABC. Good hunting. Did you hear that, Poirot? The murderer seems to be taking it all as a game, a challenge. He will strike on 30th in Churston. We must warn Scotland Yard.
Especificar que hoje é dia 30.
No time to lose. We must prepare our suitcases for Churston.
Mon Dieu, it is already 10 o'clock. I will call Scotland Yard immediately.
Beleza, então aqui vamos começar o terceiro caso. Acho que é uma boa. Deixa eu fazer uma parada. Então, espero que tenham gostado da série aí. Curte, compartilha, deixa o joinha pra ajudar o amigo aqui. A gente se vê no próximo episódio. Valeu, falou, Zé.